Well, let's see if she turns on here. 7 waiting. Let's see. It's not come up yet. We'll do this anyway. Anybody hear me? There he is. Well, not sure if anybody saw that or not. It's not up on my screen yet, so there it is. All right, we got it. Not sure if anybody saw that or not. Good. Well, good evening, everybody. And old Man Ronin here. Welcome to the channel. And we got 6 watching now. That's good. We're going to take some questions because we're talking about the Classic 350. And is it coming to North America? You see I've got the old Maxx Eyewear sunglasses on tonight. We had them. I used these today. Yesterday I used the more blue. Iron Lady's on here. Hey, how you doing, Iron Lady? I know you're busy doing other things this evening, and that's pretty cool. 9 watching. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to pretty much ask you to ask me questions on what I know and what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed. Well, not what I'm not allowed to say because I won't say anything. I'm not allowed to say it. But what we're going to do is talk about the Classic 350, whether it's coming to North America. In particular the USA, which is what we're obviously all about, but North America, including Mexico, and of course without a doubt Canada. But 11 watching now. Like I say, if anybody wants to ask me a question about it before I get going, I want to get a few more people on here before we start, but it's going to be exciting stuff to talk about. And I've got some exciting news. If you're a member of my channel here on YouTube, or if you're a Patreon, you already know some of the news that we were talking about. And if you didn't catch the video that we put out on Wednesday, we're also in the middle of the Air Moto Smart Air Pump giveaway for the month of March. And man, it is getting so many entrants. It's pretty cool. So I encourage everybody to get involved in that when you see Little Ronin go by. And will it show up tonight? You have to stick around and find out. But like I say, if you have any questions on the 350, we're going to talk a little bit about the origins of it, where it started from, why it's such a popular bike. Let's see, Signified says, do you know if all the models will be available? Well, as far as the models in America, we have a little bit of news going on right now. So I think it's going to be tough to get stuff no matter what it is. But I'm sure that the dealers will be able to order. It may just take some time. Like I say, there's no guarantees with the way that the world is right now. Let's see. Stan hasn't showed up. There it is. Stan Bart. Good evening. Good evening to you guys. What are you drinking? I've got a Modelo tonight. That's what I'm going to drink. I didn't get a chance to get to the store to pick up some Rolling Rock, so Iron Lady picked up some Modelo, and I'm going to have that tonight as part of our live stream. Because we always like to do some cheers. So cheers, everybody, and let me know down in the chat here what you're drinking. Bart says thanks. My pleasure, Stan Bart. Bart, I know I have a good friend named Bart. His first name is. So 22 watching. That's fantastic. Well, we're going to do a little bit of history first on the Classic 350. And if you guys don't know, and a lot of Americans and North Americans don't. Some of the Europeans do, Australians do, and definitely the Indians know that the classic models, whether the 350 or the 500, were basically copied off of the original G2. And that motorcycle goes back to I think the first iterations came and in the 30s, but it really took off in the 50s. That's when the big push was. And of course, they've introduced the classics on and off for years. And in fact, the last ones were you could have got them here, the classic 500 up until a couple 3 years ago. And don't quote me on the exact dates, because in America here, I rode a classic 500 Bullet, back several years back before we moved to East Central Ohio, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of vibration in it, which is why I want to talk about this Classic 350, because the Classic 350 is using the same motor in Europe and India and in Australia as what they're using in the Meteor 350. And you guys know that we are now proud owners of the Meteor 350, and that bike is a lot of fun. I rode it a little bit. In fact, there's going to be a video coming out soon on the Classic 350 where I talk about, not that I've ridden it yet, I haven't ridden it yet, but where I'm going to talk about the similarities in the engine-wise. Excuse me. Dan says, Dan Gunn, welcome. Modelo, good stuff. Tom, I'm going to try to pronounce your last name. Is it Kluppinger or Klupping? I can't even say it. Cloping? I destroyed it. I know. I apologize, Tom, but thanks anyways. It says, hi, old man. Happy to catch this again. Fantastic. I'm glad you did too, guys. And cheers. But the G2 is a very popular bike all over the world, actually, and a lot of people, particularly in England at the time when they first came out, and they really, and of course, when the Indian manufacturers took over and started making them, they were just hugely popular in India as well, too. The bikes have got a lot of history, and they're calling it the Classic because right now, you all know, retro-style motorcycles are on fire. In fact, I almost had a chance to ride a W80 or 800 from Kawasaki here the other day. Just the dealer that had it, I wanted to ride it. There's Donna. Cheers, Donna. Sold it. So it's like, what are you gonna do? But Donna, I want to say I'm still feeling for you, brother. I really am. I know it's hard when you lose one of your parents, and I want to send out a special sympathy to you, Donna. I really appreciate you being not only a member, and you can see your little logo beside in the chat there, that you're a member of the YouTube membership program. But just want to send out thank you. Cloping. Okay, that's good. Well, I got it right. Trevor, good evening and cheers. You must be drinking some red wine, I see there. But guys that have had the 500, and I was actually looking at one. There was a 500 Classic Bullet that was for sale here in East Central Ohio. I just didn't have the money at the time because I knew I was going to get the Meteor 350, and I really didn't want to have two motorcycles out there. But I really wanted to buy that 500. But you never know what's going on. Let's see. Stan just made a comment. Says, let's see when it comes up here. My Meteor went through an ECU update this week because the fuel here in Brazil has more alcohol than gas. So do I. But if you drink enough alcohol, you will get gas. I know, that was terrible. I should be ashamed of myself. Somehow I'm not. You got to rely on Iron Lady for the joke. I just don't do that well. Stuart, hey man. Stuart, there you go. So they call it Classic because they called it Dead Squirrel. It wouldn't sell as good. Nice. Julie, hey Julie, how you doing? Hello from New Jersey and greetings, and hello from East Central Ohio. The nearest town to me would be, the nearest village would be Hanover. The nearest town would be Frazeysburg, and the nearest city would be Newark. Tom says, Jameson here, saw the weather forecast tomorrow using a vacation day. Hey, we had some great weather the last 2 days. I'm telling you, it was near 73 degrees here yesterday. And I rode both the Meteor 350 and, of course, the Road King yesterday. And today, Iron Lady and I took our first two up. Well, that wasn't our first two up. We had our first two up yesterday on the Harley. But today we went out and did over 100 and some miles on the Himalayan, and that was a blast. We haven't done a two up on the Meteor this year yet, even though that's one of the things we're going to be doing here in a relatively soon. Stan says, KKKKKKKKKK. Okay. But again, the Meteor, the Classic 350 is coming to the United States, and if you were wondering, and it's going to be a fantastic motorcycle as well. I think it's going to appeal to more of the retro or the hipster guys because it is a beautiful motorcycle. And Tom says, "Hey, Julie, again." Welcome, Julie. I think it's the first time you've contacted us, Julie. If not, I apologize. I just don't remember, but because I'm old and stuff. But we want to welcome her to the old Man Ronin crew. We love lady riders. Ems and Iron Lady are both licensed riders as well too. In fact, I think Iron Lady's probably going to spend most of the time, other than me doing videos, on the Meteor 350. I want to get her more comfortable riding with the camera before we have riding side by side and do a video, because it's one of those things. When you're a new rider, you should really concentrate on learning to ride, not fool around trying to make videos. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of emphatic about with that, because it's not necessarily the safest thing in the world, particularly on the roads today. So we got 25 watching. Cheers, everybody, and again, welcome, Julie. We want to thank everybody. Tom already did, but everybody give Julie a big shout out there. So what's some of the news? Tom says, all those K's mean the same as laughing. Oh, okay. I was wondering. You never know. Or like a cackle. I get you. Laughing or LOL. Stan says, after the update, the meteor did not go beyond 120. I think it needs a hike. It may. 120 kilometers, that's about what, 66 or 68 miles an hour. I had the meteor up to 75 yesterday in the morning, and it just, I mean, it held there. It didn't go any faster, it didn't go any slower, and it just held there. Today I had the Himalayan up to 78 miles an hour with two, and we still had what, 5,500 RPM. So it's running really strong, and there's been zero updates to the engine. But to get back to the Classic 350, I think this bike is going to be a strong bike in North America, in particular the US market, for a couple different reasons. Pardon me. I think mostly right now it's going to be because of the fuel economy. I put fuel in the Road King yesterday, and I mean, it cost almost over $20 to fill it up. And of course, I burn high test in all my motorcycles. That's something I've always done. I want that strong burn, and I try not to use. Yes, Donna says here the Meteor is limited. It is. It's electronically limited, and so will the Classic, I'm sure. Stan says thanks, Tom. But I burn high test even in the Himalayan, even though you can burn whatever you want in it. And the same thing is true with the Meteor. You can burn whatever you want in those. I prefer to do high test because I don't want, if you don't get a good clean burn, then a lot of times you get a little bit of after pop. And if you've ever noticed some of the motorcycles that are running down the road that they don't have a clean fire, it's either you got some spark plug issues, some timing issues, or the fuel's not igniting properly. And the way that fuel is anymore, they're really cutting corners to try to stretch it a little bit. So even though it's rated at a higher octane, I would say it might not be. So I do that, and I don't get any rattle or blowback or popping at all. And it's one of the reasons why I burn the high test. Like I said, with ECUs and things like that, there's ways that you can get around that. But perfectly honest with you, I'm not going to change. I don't care what some of the newbies or whatever says. We're going to stay with the high test, and we're going to run and keep burning it because it's been super efficient, and I get really good gas mileage out of it. That's one of the things I'm most proud of my motorcycles is, yeah, out of my Harleys I get a tremendous amount of performance, and out of my Himalayan and of course the Meteor I get really, really good performance out of those two, and it's just smooth as silk. I know a lot of guys are saying they're having problems with the Himalayan, even the newer ones, maintaining a start. And I really don't know. 31 watching. Wow. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I don't understand. I don't have any issues with mine. Mine's a 2018 Himalayan, and it just fires up every time. In fact, I told this story the other day. I'm going to tell you guys, if you haven't caught that other live stream, that when we had the coldest temperature, I like to start my motors, even though I didn't fog the cylinders this year because I knew I was going to be starting them off and on. Like last year, man, I fogged the cylinders with oil, and it kept me from going for rides. And we had a really mild winter last year. Well, this year I said I'm not going to fog the cylinders because I'm going to ride each and every one. Not this year. I should have fogged them. So instead, I went out and started them and ran them a little bit every chance I could to make sure that I had the gas going through okay. I do like to treat the gas because I'm not going to burn a whole tank during the winter, unless I'm on the Himalayan. But I also wanted to make sure that the oil was going through and lubricating and keep everything in nice shape. So if you do not fog your cylinders, and you are not, and you have to fog your cylinders if you're leaving the engine sit. But if you're not letting the engine sit, don't fog your cylinders, but run it every so often, and run it at different speeds or accelerations. That way, I should have fogged the driveway. You're right, Stuart. But that way you can keep the oil going through it. And man, I went out there on the cold day and tried to start it, and the Harleys would not. I mean, nothing, man, nothing. I could barely get them to turn over because the cylinders are so big in that cold, extremely cold weather. Well, lo and behold, the Meteor, boom, fired right up. I mean, first time, not even a thought. And of course, the Himalayan, it started not as good as the Meteor, because that 350 engine is near perfect. I think that's going to be a big factor for Royal Enfield in the future. And if they do come out with a 500 Classic down the road, well, I'm really hoping that they use the 350 as a model for it, and then of course make a bigger displacement, because that it would be just it's a phenomenal engine, is what I'm trying to tell you. That little 350 is probably my favorite Royal Enfield engine that I've ever ridden on. I like it better than the 411 and the Himalayan. I really do. It is it's not fast. You know, I seen a guy the other day go, well, that the 350 Honda would go faster than the 350 Meteor. And he's right, it will, but it had virtually no low-end torque. So if you had any off-road type of stuff, even though you're not supposed to take them off-road, it just didn't happen. So, well, any questions you guys have? Because, like I said, we've got over 30 people watching. We really do appreciate it. And we're also going to do this just like we do every live stream. We've got some new stickers, and they're for sale on Etsy. Get my picture in there too. They're for sale on Etsy, and it's one of the ways that we make a little bit of income. It's Chill to Ride and the new old Man Ronin logo that you see once in a while on some stuff. And then of course we've got our standard first edition. And to be honest with you, once these are gone, they're going to go away. We're going to come up with another logo down the road. So if you're interested in that, they're on Etsy. However, if you do make a super chat or a super sticker here during the live stream, we will send an entire sticker pack along with it. So you'll get all three of these just for a super sticker, or a super chat. We really do appreciate that. Or after it's over, you can do a super thanks into the same thing. We'll track you down and make sure we send the stickers out, because it's one of the ways that we give back, way we can generate just a little bit of income, because you know, it is what it is. Donna says speed isn't everything. You get more speeding tickets to Joyride. And of course, that's really a big thing. I do love going fast sometimes, and like yesterday on the Road King, we cracked the throttle, man. I mean, that's just part of it. But again, I'm blessed because I know how to work on motorcycles. So I've been able to get some really trashed out Harley Davidsons over the years and rebuild them and either sell them or keep them. And I haven't really sold any in a while. Ask Iron Lady. Cheers, everybody. Now, we got almost 40 people watching today. Well, I'm gonna relay a little bit of good news right now as well too. In April, I was invited to be part of the press corps for the release of the Classic 350. That's why I know for sure that it's coming to North America. And it's one of those things that I'm pretty excited. We're going down to Savannah, Georgia. Guys know this if you're a member of the Patreon or membership here. There you go. Well, you know how to do it, Stan. Either get it through. He says he wants to buy stickers and put on my bike's bubble. He says, please be a let's see, what did Stuart say? Oh, be a member here, and it sees down in the corner, it'll say join. Hit that button and join the level there, or go to patreon.com and do that, or simply give us a super sticker or a super chat. Right below the chat, there's a little $sign. You do that, or go to Etsy. That's the way you're going to get the stickers. That's the best way to do it. So, Stan, if you want that. And again, I'm only doing the pack, a 3-pack for super chat and super stickers today. So if you want 3 of these, basically you got to do that. I mean, like I said, to be perfectly honest with you, it's the way we're trying to make a little bit of income, because these videos aren't cheap to make, particularly the price of gas. It's one of the things that we kind of joke about. Thank God motorcycles are around, and I'm glad that I'm hoping we don't have too much more snow, because it'll take the pressure off of. I don't even want to think about putting gas in my pickup truck. I really don't. I mean, wow. I just don't even want. I mean, 30-gallon tank. Oy vey. You know what I'm saying? And it's a 4-wheel drive. It's a 454 Chevy. Oy, what are you gonna do? But we need it. I mean, we haul stuff with it a lot. So that's basically what it is. Let's see. We got a little notation there. Michael Fancourt made a comment saying, "Great video. Glad you're buying the bike." Yeah, that's true. Same color as mine. Well, congratulations. Yeah, we really liked the color of the Meteor 350, and I think one of the first times I saw that color really wasn't on the Meteor; it was on the Classic. They did kind of like a premiere. I don't think they're doing that color now, but it really, I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. And I usually like just black. Excuse me. Dan says close to $8 a count. Whoa. It's going to happen everywhere, guys. We've got to really figure out how to fix this stuff without killing the world's economy. And I don't want to get into politics. That's the last thing we ever do on these channels. But something's got to be done. This is ridiculous. It just is what it is. And Dan, Canada's got a crap ton of gasoline or crude oil up there. There's no reason Canada should be having $8 a gallon. You should be having $2 a gallon gas. There's no reason for it to be that expensive. Canadian dollars, yeah, but it's not that much different now, Stuart. It's I don't know what the rate is now. The dollar took a plunge, so who knows? Dan says he likes the black and red. I agree with you. In fact, that's the bike color I used in the thumbnail. Is that black, stealth black? It's beautiful. That red stripe, it's just beautiful. U.S. has cheap compared to U.K. As my mother would say, be grateful for small mercies. Yeah, you're right, Kevin. We are blessed, but we have one of the world's largest, what do you call it, oil reserves in the world. We have more than Russia and Saudi Arabia combined, but we're not getting it. So it is what it is. Shan's Gone Deegan says, I don't know what that means. I have a feeling that's not a fun thing. So we're going to remove that. Dan says 75 cent, okay, taxes. What do you think of driving a Super Cub, 180 mile per gallon? It's one of those type of things that probably not. There are limits on how small I'll go on engines. But then again, anything to be on two wheels, right? I guess. I don't know. They're talking about doing electric over in Europe that by 2035. Donna, you can tell me, and some of you guys in Europe talking about the getting rid of all gasoline engines by that. I don't know if that's true or not. Man, that would be a disaster for the motorcycle industry, and it'd be a disaster for people who really want to ride out in the country. Real nice to ride Super Cubs. That's like people saying, I don't care what you ride. It's just maybe not for me. I was watching a YouTuber here over in Europe. I think he was over in Portugal, and he was riding a Honda, and he was having all kind of issues getting people to work on it for him. So I don't know. It's that Honda thing, man. I don't know. I don't know if I trust him. See, and Stuart cheered himself. Well, there you go. Cheers, Stuart. We'll cheer you back. But like I said, we still got 33 people watching. That makes me happy. If you do have any questions, but in April, I'll be going down being part of the press releaser for the Meteor, for the Classic 350. I'm sure they're going to release the models to the dealers before that, and it is what it is. I mean, I'm actually getting hold of later this month of just for a day. An Interceptor 3, not an Interceptor, but a Continental GT, and we're going to make a couple videos on that when I have it. I want to have it for a day or two, but it's one of those type of things. I made a deal with one of the dealers here in Central Ohio, and I'm going to be riding it a day and a half, something like that, 2 days, and we're going to film some stuff on it. It'll be a lot of fun. Kevin says 858 would be an equivalent of our cheapest petrol here in the UK. Again, lots of W2. Hey, it's Juan, man. Hey, there's Juan. Everybody say hey to Juan. I haven't seen him in a while. It says, great to see you. Sorry I've been inactive here in your community. Shame on you? No, I'm just teasing, man. As soon as we get some stuff together, Juan, I got a special little prize for you. I'm sending you out, and hopefully I'll be able to do it here this week. If not, it'll be next week. So look forward. What we talked about before is on the way. Donna says, yes, there are politicians want to get rid of fuel-powered engines in 2030. That's tomorrow. It is, and it's too soon. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, again, we're not going to go any farther than that. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Hippie the Biker, however you say that, they're talking about sanctions against India because India, the relationships with Russia, how it will affect RE imports. Well, what I know about that is this. Russia sells oil to even the United States today. They're still importing oil from Russia. They're selling it to Germany. They're selling it all over India. The only thing India hasn't done is they haven't said a word. And my philosophy on that is I don't really want to say a word. No, I'm not talking about that stuff. That's not a right law. And I don't blame India for not saying anything. They don't have to. Why do you have, like that's like saying if you don't say something, you're for something. And that to me is crazy. So that's insecure people trying to force people into their ideology. Again, to me, that's 100% wrong. So as far as India having a relationship with Russia, there are lots of countries that have relationships with everybody. In fact, the United States still has oil relationships with Russia. It's a big deal. It is what it is. Do you believe the worldwide massification of electrical? Again, it's one of those things. I've ridden some electric motorcycles, and they are fun for what they are. What a time to join. How you doing? Hey, Chad, how you doing? And again, you can see he's got a little thing there for being a member here on the page. And again, cheers, welcome. Let's see. Stuart says India abstained from the right. Again, big deal. Who cares? It's one of those type of things. And not that I'm pro this, pro that, or pro anything else. I just simply don't care. Tom says I didn't already have a 650 Bergman scooter for commuting my 32-mile to work. I definitely look into Meteor with gas being $4 in the moment in New Jersey. Yeah, I paid over $4, but again, I'm running high test. I think it's $3.79 for regular here, Tom. Again, I know Jersey has more taxes than we do, even though they just leveled in 18 cents a gallon here this year or last year in Ohio for taxes to try to fix the roads, which they didn't fix. So where'd that money go? Politicians, don't you love them? That's why I don't talk politics. To me, it's a waste of time because they don't listen to you anyway. They do what they want to do because they are elite. Let's see. Hippie said, whatever happens, I hope to see the class. And it's going to, Hippie Biker. It'll be here probably sometime this month or early next month. I know if you just joined in, I would be going down in April for the press party down in Savannah, Georgia for the Classic 350. I'm pretty excited about it. Chad said just hit 424 here. That's high test, Chad. Donna says electric motorbikes have enough. Exactly, and that's what I always tell. There's no way cars or motorcycles have enough juice to go any distance. And let me give you an idea. I have a food truck. That's my main business, which has been down for the last 3 months because I couldn't get parts. Again, it has a Mercedes engine in it, and those parts were almost non-existent. I couldn't get them, so I've been out of business waiting for the last 2.5 months. Motorcycles don't have Hemis. Way to go, Dan. But the reality of it is I run gasoline for my generator because how am I going to get electric anywhere else when I'm at a place? I can't. Solar ain't going to do it. I don't care what people say. Do you know how many? I'd have to have a solar panel larger than the truck to run, because I run, my generator, it runs 240 volts. So I've got to have something that generates a tremendous amount of power. That's my generator. Then I have a diesel engine that drives the truck because it's so heavy. And then I have propane that fuels all of my fryers and my stoves, and my fuel is just, we have to have this stuff. No matter what you want to do to save the planet, we still are I'm sounding political. We still are a world based upon fossil fuels, and we are not going to change. Nothing is coming close to that. Electricity, unless you've got a way to tap into a source, but that'll put food trucks right out of business, and no more food trucks. And everybody loves to go to food trucks, but you have to be able to plug in. Let's see, nope, 87. Wow, that's expensive. That's in Michigan, right, Chad? Stuart said, hey, I can fuel up at AT and Norco Refiner here for $3.50. Good for you, man. Outlaw says, what about power and smoothness 350 compared to the 500 Classic? Well, I'll put it to you this way. Not even close as far as the smoothness. The 350 is, it really, for a single cylinder, you don't think you're on a single. You think you're on a twin. It's counterbalanced. They did a fantastic job. As far as power, obviously the 500 is going to be more powerful in it, and that's a great motor bike, guys. That 500 Classic is a great bike. Like I said, I almost bought one here last fall, but I just couldn't swing it, knowing we were getting the Meteor 350. And again, you can't have everything. Damn it! If I was rich, If I was one of these politicians, because it amazes me how you can go into politics to serve people and walk out a millionaire. I don't understand that. Maybe you guys can help me with that one. Well, and 40, man, that's great. Have over 40 people watching. Makes me happy. But yeah, the Classic 350 is going to be a motorcycle that's going to, I think, it's going to be well received. People love the look of it. And I think they like it even more so than the Meteor is what I see online, because it has that hipster retro look that everybody's gone for. It out retros the Triumphs by leaps and bounds. Even the 650s. The 650s look like more of a modern British, whereas the Classic 350 looks more like a 40s and 50s and early 60s style motorcycle, and people love that look. I mean, I do too. My Deluxe is I call old school cool because of that reason. It has that look of a 40s or a 50s style motorcycle, and that's really, really cool. Funny how the 350 passed Euro 5 but not the 500. Guess the 500 could have become EFI, and again, lots of stuff, EFI and the ECU, you can do a lot of stuff with it, and they're tuned down. I mean, we're tinkerers here in this country, more so than they are anywhere else in the world when it comes to this kind of stuff, because we work on our Harleys, and we work on and really some of the other motorcycle brands like your BMWs and your Kawasaki's and your Ducatis and stuff don't have the aftermarket support that what Harley has, and which I'm really, really hoping that Royal Enfield will when they start selling a lot of motorcycles here in America. S&S has already come on board with the 650s, but we have there are so many different ECU upgrades that you can do on Harley Davidsons right now. Like I have two different ones on my motorcycles. On the Sportsters, I'm running a what they call a Fuel Pack 3, and it's made by Vance and Hines, and it just wakes that engine right up. I mean, it's amazing amount of difference. Just a simple change in the ECU. And on my Road King and the Deluxe, I have what they call a Thunder Max, and that is amazing. That is better than any other tuner I've ever used. I wish someday down the road that they'll start doing that kind of stuff with other different models. I'd like to see some aftermarket exhausts and some aftermarket. There is a little bit of aftermarket support for air boxes and stuff like that, but a little bit of ECUs. I know there's some Powertronics, I think, for the Royal Enfield, but there's Powertronics for Harleys too, but they're crap compared to what the other things I just mentioned. So Keith says, I live on a narrow boat. That is so cool. I'm going to mention that just a half a second and get off topic. I actually saw those running around. Didn't realize people were living in them, and that is about as cool as possible. Solar's fine in the summer, but I run my diesel. Exactly. He runs his diesel for power in the winter. You have to, because especially in the UK, you're not going to have sunny days every day. And the wind doesn't always blow. And we had some issues out west where a lot of those windmills, they had an ice storm and literally broke the big windmills down. I mean, they literally fell apart, and that's not good either. So you're always going to have a need for. And to be honest with you, how do you generate it? You either have to use nuclear, or you're going to have to use coal or oil or natural gas to do these power plants, or you're not going to get your electricity. So it is what it is. See, Donna has to go. Donna, cheers, brother. I really appreciate you. And again, heartfelt sorrow for you for the loss of your mother. Let's see. Stuart says they fixed the problem with Harley's 2020 aftermarket ECUs. Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, to be honest with you, Harley, even the Screaming Eagle ECU is garbage. Shh, Harley, you're not listening, I hope. No, they don't care about me. But yeah, their stuff is garbage, and I would never use their stuff. I don't have any of the bikes that I have that has fuel injection. I'm not running stock Harley stuff. I don't even like to run their aftermarket throttle bodies, particularly on the older ones, because they're garbage. And they just really aren't. Even the carburetors, unless you got S&S or Mikuni, those are the ones that I prefer over there's a couple other ones on the market too. The Classic 350 is a time machine. It looks like you're still not taking back, and I know that's what I love about it. It's beautiful, but I can't wait to get on it. I'm really, really eager to be on it in April, and I'm not sure. I was talking to Royal Enfield, and it looks like I'm going to be getting a 650 of some kind for my next long-term use, and that's going to make me happy. I really can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Julie says, do you think the new BSA Gold Star will come to America? It's hard to say. I would like to ride one. I think it'd be kind of cool. I always wanted a BSA when I was a kid. They just they when they went out of business, they just literally became inaccessible. Everybody bought them up, and you couldn't get them. It's still, you can find some of the smaller BSAs around, but not the 650s and stuff like that. You just don't see them. Trevor said, what mods should be getting for the Meteor? Well, if you're a member of my Patreon or the membership, you already know, because it'll be here on Wednesday, and we're excited. But you have to join that or wait till following video. But yeah, we're getting some stuff right away. A narrow boat on the narrow canal is cool. I mean, that is a cool thing. I seen that, and there's movies being made with them now and stuff. And like I said, I just wonder, is there a lot of them out there? And I was just curious. You can tell me. Dan says 650cc, woohoo. Yeah, I know, it's going to be fun. Stan says, I have to go. Stay with God. Good night. Stan, appreciate you, brother. And thanks. Cheers. And again, if you're just new to the live stream, tell me what you're drinking. We're having a Modelo tonight. Oh, before I go any farther, in case we lose too many people, what was that? Now, there's no way I could have done it. I don't have that kind of technology on my computer to put the little Ronin going by, so I used that card. You know what to do, guys. Tell me what time you saw little Ronin go by, and make sure you're a subscriber. Make sure you comment below and send me an email, and you'll be in the running for the Airmoto Smart Air Pump. And I'll show you here. We've got several to give away. And we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got one more that's I didn't pick up because I only have two hands. But that's how you enter, guys. Is you have to be a subscriber, you have to make a comment below, and you have to send me an email. And that email address is oldmanronin@gmail.com. You do that and tell me what time I did this, and it looked like it was approximately, I don't have a timer on my let's see, 37 point, it'd be around 37 minutes. And if you write that down and send it to me, then we'll put you in the running. And it's pretty exciting. Guys, I'm going to try to push the subscribe or the join too, because there's some extra benefits being a member of the channel and also Patreon. You guys that are already members know what that is. Trevor, without sounding like I was being a little bit vague, but I really want you guys to watch some of the stuff, because the first mod is the one if you remember some of the mod videos, it's going to be the first one that I wanted to put on, and you're going to see that. Let's see. Chat, send me the email. But yeah, we really get a kick out of that. We also are in the middle of the Kemimoto heated gear now. It's supposed to last to the end of March if you guys have some bad weather in certain places, but you get 30% off there. And if you don't win, week to week on the Airmoto, you can go to down here in the description, you'll see a link, and they're offering 10% right now if you can't wait. And like I said, I already have several of them. And the reason why I have several of them, because I became such a fan of the things. I used it today twice. I used it, Keith says there's 22,000 boats on the English Canal System. Gee, many Christmas. That's a bunch. That's like a highway. But I use it all the time. And here's, per example, in the morning, I like to check the air pressure in all my motorcycles, what I'm going to ride that day. I don't check every one all the time. But I like to check it and see if it's low, then I raise it up. Or if it's high, I lower it down. And that Airmoto system works really well. Let me get one out here real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. If you guys haven't seen one, let's see. Tom says I put pea shooter exhaust on my ANT took the DB killers out before I even put the sun. Yeah, I mean, sounds like a potato. Oh, yeah, there you go. You get that almost that Harley potato sound. Well, this is what the unit looks like. And this is the little nozzle. You put it on, you screw it in, And I don't know how well this is going to come on. You push the button in, and it'll say on, and then you've got motorcycle. You can switch it to that. To that one's bicycle. And it's ball, open, and I use that if you're ever blowing up something like a air mattress when you're moto camping. Car, and of course back to motorcycle. And then of course you can set it for whatever you want. Now it won't do it now, but right here's a little button when you got it hooked up. Let's say that you want 32 pounds, and you put it on your car, or your motorcycle, and it's 35 pounds. You push this little button and it'll let the air out to whatever you want it to be. And then if you go too far, you just hit the button and it blows it up. And it'll automatically stop wherever you have it set. And easy to set it, you just move the digits back and forth to wherever you want it to be. It also has a light, and when it's dark, that you can push and hold. And hold on there a second. Turning it off, turn it back on. And there's a little light. That way if you're doing it at night. But I fell in love with these little guys simply because I always wanted something that I could carry with me. And that way, in case I had some issues, and I always check air pressure. Air pressure is one of the most neglected things besides oil on motorcycles. And when I ride off-road, if I go on gravel roads, even if I'm not on a Himalayan, let's say I'm on a Meteor or a Harley, I really want to lower my air pressure a little bit so I can get a better grip. And so I can go there and I can undo let a little bit of air out. I like to say about 10 to 15% for gravel most of the time. Mud, maybe a little bit more. And same thing with snow. And I can go down and lower it to where I want it to be. And then when I'm done doing that off-road stuff, I can put it back up. Even if you're using it at hot air temperatures. And the cool thing about that is when you screw it in, it tells you what the temperature, or not temperature, but the air pressure is in the tire. So let's say you start in the morning and you're running and it's at 32 pounds. You have to fill it up to 32 pounds. So you're good to go. You're out riding and you end up saying, well, I'm getting ready to go in the gravel, and you push it back on there. It says it's 32 to 33 and a half. Well, what you can do is lower it that 10, 15%, do your stuff, and then take it up to 33 and a half where it was when it was warm. So that way you can get a good feel. I'm really, it's part of my kit. And every time I'm on a motorcycle, it's either in the saddlebags or the panniers or my coat pocket. And when I'm wearing the new Olympia gear, the pockets are big enough that I just stick it in there, like if I'm on the Meteor, because I don't have saddlebags yet. Okay, let's see. Tom says HD history to RA. And again, that is one of the reasons why I love the Royal Enfield, and I'm so attracted to it, because Harley Davidson has been in my blood since I was 14 years old. My grandfather rode them. My dad rode a little bit, not like it's kind of hopped generations, but my grandfather rode him, and I remember him telling me about back in 1912 and stuff, riding Harley Davidson. So it does go a long way, and they're kind of equal because they're both tinkerers motorcycles. They're simple to work on. There's not a lot of computer crap, and it's just really, really cool. Tom says, beat pumping that old school T-pump handle or the foot pump. You know what I mean? Vintage things are nice, but not always. It's true, but that kind of thing there, it's like a cell phone. Everybody has a cell phone with them. You're riding a motorcycle, everybody should be having one of these. Maybe not the brand, but I'm going to push you this way. I don't get anything out of it. In fact, they don't pay me anything to do this. I just ask them, since I'm such a big promoter of it, what they can do for me. And I said, I want to have some air pumps to give away for my people. And that's what we're doing. They didn't give me any money. I don't have any money out of it. It's not paid promotion. I'm just giving it back to you guys. Let's see. Dan says a walkie-talkie that puts air in tires. That's pretty cool, except it's not that way. No walkie, no talkie. It's ridey and filly uppy. See, that's Secret Service stuff right there. Way too cool. Precise, good for air rides. No, that is one thing I will never use on air ride suspensions. When we're talking, like, the only air ride that I have is on my Road King, and I have a little air pump that you just, you don't go very much. 10, 12 pounds here, 10, 12 in the back and I don't want to, I know I've seen guys blow their frickin' systems out pretty quick because they put an air pump or air machine on it and boom, and knock the lines out. I want to, and it probably could, but I'm not taking any chance on that. I have that little hand pump Now, Airmoto, don't get mad at me. I haven't tried it because I really don't want to replace airlines and blown seals in my shocks and my suspension up front. So I'm going to still use, in fact, I used that yesterday as well too. I looked at it, I put my little pump on there, and it was at 10 pounds, and I went up to 12, and there she was. And in the back, I went 15, and there she was. So that's nice and easy, and I guaranteed safe. Let's see. Don't worry about it. Who cares? I know you're not yelling at me. And if you were, I wouldn't care. Stuart says, oh God, don't use a regular pump on it. Thank you. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Never, 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 never. Dan says 10 PSI in my old 9280. And that's basically what I'm talking about. I use a hand pump for that. And Stuart says, cute little wee pump. It is. I mean, I have big air pumps as well too. I've got the big 5 gallons and then a big, professional one for using air tools. So Seaward says, hello from Bournemouth, UK, fellow Himalayan rider, sipping scotch and sodas, a medicinal nightcap. Agreed. And I'm taking my medicine, which is a Mexican medicine, Modelo. Cerveza, anyone? Well, guys, we've been on here for 45 minutes, and I tell you, we've been averaging between 35 and 40 viewers, and it really makes me happy. I really enjoy having these kind of conversations, and if you do have any more questions on the Classic 350, like I said, it'll probably be here in the next several weeks. And again, I know for sure that I'm going down to Savannah, Georgia, unless something happens in the world. You never know anymore. It's hard for me to make plans anymore because you really don't know what's going to happen. But I was supposed to go down there in the mid-April to Savannah to be part of Press Week for the reveal or the unveiling of the Classic 350 here in North America, and I'm hyper excited about it. I was talking to Royal Enfield here last week, and I was their first invite, and it makes me really, really happy. I'm really proud of my relationship with them. I'll say this bluntly. I've been riding Harley since I was 14, and you know what I've ever gotten out of Harley Davidson? A bill. That's it. Dan says, when are you getting the 650 approximately? Probably not till the summer. I doubt it. Now, I am going to be test riding one in a couple weeks. I'm going to borrow for a couple days. I'm going to be borrowing a Continental GT. It'll be a lot of fun. Richard, glad to see you, Richard. Cheers, and what are you drinking? Aha, ba, riba. Yeah, that's pretty good, Stuart. Your Spanish is terrible. But I'm really excited about it. It'll be a lot of fun. I've ridden the Continental already, and there's not a lot of difference except the seating posture, things like that. Tell more about the press release, please. Okay, well, we're going to Savannah, Georgia. There's going to be some different people from the different press and some influencers and different YouTubers are going to be there, and it'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll be down there for 3 to 4 days, and I'm really excited about it. I know the area really, really well. I know a lot of chefs down there. It's one of those type of things. I love low country food, and if you guys aren't familiar with the North American cuisine, there's Spanish food's different, Mexican food, or not Mexican, but French food is different, Italian food is different, German food is different, English food is different. They all have their different phases. Well, America's so big that we have that in regions. We have the Midwest country style, Amish style cooking, what I grew up on. We have the German style, which I also grew up on because my family's German, and more related to the Pennsylvania Dutch. Then we also have the Southern cooking. But in the Southern realm, there's Texas stuff, there's North Carolina stuff. And if you're talking about the Carolinas in particular, there's the Low Country, which is right along the ocean there. And it has a tremendous amount of influence from the slave era. In fact, there's a group of people called the Geechee, and that is one of my favorite flavorings. It's completely different than anything you've ever had. If you've never experienced Geechee style cooking, or Gullah, another term for it, I actually make a lot of spice blends, and Geechee and Gullah is two of my favorite types. It's like Cajun and Creole, and of course Kunas as well too down in Louisiana. It's kind of similar like that they have their differences, but it's all based similarly, but it has a complete different flavor. Tom says, what's your favorite color for the Classic 350? I'm telling you, man, I'm looking at that black, stealth black with the red. It's one of the reasons why I used it on the on the thumbnail. I thought it was beautiful. I like all the colors, but I really like black. If you guys haven't watched my videos before, every one of my Harleys are black. Go figure. Let's see. English food is, you know what? I've had some fantastic English food. There's nothing better in the world than fish and chips in England, man. I don't care what you say. It's the best. Ireland comes close, but I like English fish and chips. Kevin says, be careful, Ronin. If you ride Interceptor 650, you'll risk of falling in love with it. Well, I'm sure. I mean, I love all motorcycles, and like I said, I have ridden the Interceptor already, and I enjoy it a lot. I'm more curious in the Continental GT, and that's the one I'm hoping I'm going to get. I don't know yet. It may be something brand new, too. You know, like something super or something gunnish. We never know. Stuart says he'll give me the fish and chips thing, but that's it. No, I don't know about that, Stuart. There's other things. Bangers and mash. In fact, if you guys are familiar with my food truck, I make a lot of my own sausages and stuff and hot dogs out of local Ohio, which is, man, I want to look at the price of pork and beef recently. It's out crazy. But I will not serve grocery store or mass marketed hot dogs or sausage. That's not me. I make my own. And I do make bangers. And it's one of my favorite things. The only trouble is this year I probably won't do it for St. Patty's Day. I usually do it for St. Patty's Day. It's just really tough to get the right ingredients out of Ireland. And if you guys know anything about that, there's a special cracker that they use as a filler in traditional bangers and Irish bangers, and it is what it is. Let's see. Good beef stews, but you mean North seasoning. See, you're mentioning stuff for me. English food is good. If you've never been to London, man, and tried some of the food, it's amazing. I love Popeye's red beans and rice, but I'm sure there's better available. Do you know? Yeah, mine. I have a lot of, I've traveled a lot over the country over the years, and one of my friends used to be down in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and his wife, his name was Duck. I got to tell you a story, one of my favorite stories. But his wife was a coon ass, and she could make the food. And the first time she actually taught me how to make etouffee. She taught me how to make jambalaya. She taught me how to make red beans and rice. And Popeyes is for fast food, but I would. It's not even close. Stuart, you can get on there and tell them about red beans and rice, but there's plenty of great. And like I say, I make a lot of that stuff as well too. Well, to get to my story before we go on to Kevin, my buddy Duck, that was his name or his nickname, and he was a Golden Gloves fighter in the Navy, and we had a lot of similarities back in there. You know, I was doing martial arts, he was doing Golden Gloves. Long story short. If anybody ask him his nickname, how do you get it? Well, he used to be really good. Like I say, he was a Golden Glove, but he got up against this guy that was right in the same weight class, but had a longer reach and was more muscular built. And his name was Dan. I'm not going to tell his last name because in case you may be listening. But how he got his nickname was, and people say, "Well, were you a guide, hunter, or whatever?" He goes, "No." He says, "When I was fighting this guy, he was just wailing on me, and guys were yelling, 'Duck, Duck!' So that's how I got a nickname of Duck." Let's see. Signify said, "Hey Kevin, I agree. Test rode a GT yesterday and didn't care for it because of that. Well, if you ride a GT, I hope your wrists are able to cope." I've been riding long enough, and I've ridden enough other style motorcycles that that really isn't a factor. Like I said, I've built out of an old Suzuki. I built some of the cafe style racers, and it's not a big deal. It is what it is. It's this type of motorcycle, and guys that not ridden a lot might not like it, or if you have bad wrists or bad back or whatever, you might not like it. It depends on what you're used to. I've ridden everything, and it's really not a big deal. Let's see. Seaward says 350 and Halcyon Gray. There you go, man. That's a beautiful, beautiful color too. Popeyes is good for chicken, but red beans and rice. And that's what I wanted Stuart to get in there because he is from Louisiana down there. What town are you from, Stuart? I can't remember. You near Lake Charles, or where you all from? I know, Duck. That's how he got his nickname, Duck Wright. And like I said, he was a good old boy. But I'm telling you what, his wife could cook. I know the first time I ever had her etouffee, I thought I could handle heat. I would every time, and I love it. Man, is it great? But I'd have to have a gallon of milk sitting right next to me when I'd eat her food. Stuart says he ruined his wrist back when he was 13. I'm sure he did. Laplace. Laplace. Why do they say it down there? Laplace? Comp said, I'll stop now. Jameson definitely makes me a little too talky. That's all right, Tom. Enjoy this live stream. Thanks for killing an hour. I'll be watching. Excellent. Thank you. Again, we really, really want to appreciate everybody that's on here. And like I said, if you do want a special 3-pack of stickers, you know what to do. Again, I get a lot of response on Etsy for these chill to ride. I thought that was kind of cool. That's more Harley, I know. And of course, our new sticker for Old Man Ronin. And then, of course, the original. And again, this is limited edition. Once those are gone, those are gone. Let's see. We got another comment coming in. It comes up on the phone first before it shows up down here. Let's see what we got. There it is. Any word on new colors for the 650? If you go to royalenfield.com, they are all over the place. And like I said, for 2022, they're up right now for all of, and there's Royal Enfield that are strictly, if you put in at the top there, North America, it'll do it. Jay Speed says, does it matter what bike as long as you love to drive it? I have 10 bikes and I like it all. Man, you got more than me, Jay. Good job, brother. And I'd cheers, but I'm out of beer. I wonder if Iron Lady's back there. Are you down there hearing me? I don't know if you can hear me. But if you are, would you mind bringing me another beer while we're still talking here? I don't know. I don't want to leave and go get a beer. I have some water, but that's as far as it goes. If I can get my sweat, lovely, adorable, very intelligent wife to pull out her credit card, well, you know what, brother? I'm waiting on you. But anyways, Signified Andy, if you go on their website, you'll see what colors they're currently producing right now. 31 watching, still been holding at a pretty good pace here. Really excited about it. And that's you better change that sweet from sweat there, Stuart. Just want to tell you. But always count on Stuart for putting up some really cool stuff. And he's a good old boy down there in Louisiana. Now, what is it? Laplace? You tell me how to pronounce it. I know it's Nolans. Like up here, where I'm close to, is a town called Newark. But they don't say Newark. They say Nurk. And we don't say Ohio. We say Ohio. Unless you're in Columbus, and those really people aren't from Ohio. So it's Nurk, Ohio. I asked my wife at the same time to get a beer. That's awesome. I don't know if Iron Lady heard me, but she may not. I may be just drinking water. I do have some water, and it'd probably be a good idea. You know, I'm long-winded. Everybody has a shock to that one, aren't they? But again, guys, I want to make sure that you do realize. Oh, we got a couple. Trevor said, we'll say goodnight, look forward to the next video. Thanks, Trevor, and we'll see you. It's going to be a pretty cool one. I'm debating on one or two. We went out on the Himalayan today. Does a 2-up. Laplace. Okay, gotcha. That does help. We went out on the Himalayan, and it's going to be a pretty cool video, a 2-up on the Himalayan, where we were doing over 75 miles an hour, 2-up, under 5,500 RPM. Last call for alcohol. I know, right? Tom says, Stuart, red beans and rice, just not a thing in New Jersey. I know there can be better. Popeye's got to find it. Well, it's, Tom, there's got to be some places over there. I mean, you're close to, I don't know how close you are to New York City, but there's got to be people that moved up there and did some good food. I know I found some really good Louisiana-style Cajun food in Tennessee, of all places, one time. And it was a little town called Paris, and it was just a little drive off the road shack. A couple people moved up there. They're Creole folk, and they opened up a little place, and man, it was some fantastic food. Jay Speed says, it's not really an expensive hobby. Keep it away from the cost of a lot of, but you know, it's really not. I mean, I always tell this story. I've got, let's see, we got 6 Harleys, and the amount of money that we have in them is less than buying a brand new, what do you call it, brand new Sportster. That's how much money I have in them, because I'm able to work on them myself. Most of the time, the paint wasn't in bad shape, and I'm a polish freak, so I'd get out the polish. If you get real close, you can see some pittings and stuff like that in some of the bikes I have, because I didn't want to put new chrome on things. That's expensive. And I didn't really put it, so I buff a lot and polish a lot, and then just rebuild the engines. And I've got a tremendous amount of Harley parts laying around. So a lot of times I just start digging through the parts and, oh, this will work. And then I've got it. I can do a little bit of fabrication here and there, a little bit of welding here and there, and I'm good to go. So it's really not expensive if you know what you're doing. Unfortunately, today, a lot of these young guys under 40 years old, 40 or something like that, they don't really know how to work on stuff, and it's a shame, because it's going to be a lost art. And man, if you take your bike to a shop to get your oil changed, how much it costs? Ugh. Let's see, same for me. Never bought a new car. Well, I have bought new cars in the past, and not recently. You can find some good deals. Let's see. Richard says, I just bought a 2021 Royal Enfield Classic 500 in Battle Green, 900, 2021. Really, I didn't know they made them that year. Last of the line, wonderful. But I'll tell you what, the Classic 500s are fun to ride. They've got the power to go on the highway with no trouble whatsoever. It's not a Road King, but as far as, it'll do highway speeds for long extended periods of time, and they're beautiful bikes. I really love the way that the Classics look, and I was sad when they discontinued them. I was happy the Meteor came out, but I'm even more happy. I shouldn't say even more happy. I'm equally as happy that they brought the Classics back out. And again, like the 350, I would have a feeling that Royal Enfield promised to do a bike every quarter for the next few years, and the only problem we may have is the world environment, because God knows what's going to happen anymore. Really, it's a shame that that there's so much crap going on the planet. Just people settle down. If you had more people riding motorcycles, you wouldn't have all this crap happening. That's the way I feel about it. Because most of these people would just be having a smile on their face instead of worrying about this, that. No, just go for a ride, man. Like I said, I was going crazy when we had that month period, and I was getting angry too. I was getting mad at everybody. I'm mad at everybody. Why? Because I wasn't riding my motorcycles. I had ice everywhere, couldn't even get out of the driveway, man. It was terrible. I get on the motorcycle, I'm happy. See? You need to put Putin his butt on a motorcycle and go riding with Zelensky, and it'd be all kind of having fun. Stuart says, the young kid at the car wash oil change place didn't know how to roll down our window. Well, better not than rolling it up. I detail on the side. That's awesome, man. Come on by and let me show me your work for free. Just teasing. Richard says the last one was made in early 2020, but it took a year. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I was wondering. I didn't think they made them in 2021, but yeah, that's. Glad, man, and cheers. Even though I have an empty beer, Iron Lady, she's down the basement watching TV or something. I don't know. I would like a new Classic 500. Would be great. You never know. There may be a lot of things in the works we don't know. Like I said, they promised to do a new bike every quarter. I can see the Scram 411 coming out probably after the. Now I don't have any information on that, but after the Classic 350. Let's see. But who knows? It may not. It may be something else. It may be the Super Meteor or the Shotgun. Who knows? Stuart says he's. Seriously, he only knew power wind. And it's the same is true with a lot of, and I think that's one of the problems that people have with motorcycles too. They don't know how to shift a gear. And that's a shame. You've never seen a motorcycle parked outside of Sakai. Yeah, that's a great meme. I've seen that a lot of times, and it's very true, because it really does lighten me up. There's two things that make me happy in the world. And when we bought this place where we live now, it's one of the things that I said to Iron Lady. We were looking for a house out here in East Central Ohio, because we left the country up north and moved down here because she got a job, and I can cook anywhere. And I was doing the food truck at the time. And Larry's there, late to the show. Howdy, how you doing, Larry? Cheers with an empty beer, because Iron Lady's not paying a bit of attention to me, like normal. But there's three things that make me happy, and I have to have at least two: woods, water, and hills. If I have those three components, or two of those components, I'm pretty happy. Rigor Schneid. a fellow Schneider, yeah. Hemi and INT 650 rider here in Exo, Ohio. And where you living now, Rieger? And love the last name. I dropped 2 letters and you'd be similar to me. Yeah, Tom says most definitely my coping with life mechanism. Mine too. Well, you said tool. It is me, for doubt a doubt. I literally was angry all the time because I literally ride year round for that reason, for my own personal well-being, because I do really love it. Now I get more tired than I used to. We did 500 miles in the last 2 days on motorcycles. Iron Lady didn't do that much with me because I rode the Meteor first. You just described Vermont. Well, yeah, and you also described East Ohio. Anything, it's kind of like a line from Cincinnati, south of Columbus, all the way to Cleveland. It's hill country, the foothills of the Appalachians. Everything west of that, we always say it's poopy. We don't give 2 craps about Western Ohio at all. Sorry, fellow Ohioans. Mike Tier mentioned something and retracted it. Put it back up there, Mike, and if it's no good, then I'll take it off. Dan says ceramic coatings, but I don't know what that means. Let's see. Oh, that's what he does. Ceramic coatings on your detailing. That's pretty cool. Have you tried them on your motorcycles? I imagine you have. Yeah, I have to have woods, water, and hills, and at least 2. Jay said he drove 6 out of the 7. We haven't had that ability here, Jay, and I'm jealous that you have. But we, like I said, I did over 500 miles the last couple days, and just having a blast. I've done several. You guys know, if you've been watching the channel a long time, that I've ridden. The biggest trip I ever made was over 12,000 miles at one shot. I stopped at different places, but 1,000 miles to me, I haven't done it in a couple years, for obvious reasons. But that's right, Southeast Ohio. There you go, bro. What part, Tim? Just curious. Mike says he bought his wife a Meteor 350. She loves it. Yes, they are fantastic motorcycles. And like I say, Iron Lady is going to spend a lot of time riding it as well. Richard says, I currently have my brother's newly purchased Triumph T100. Steve McQueen sitting in my house. A T100 is a great bike. I had one years ago. I really enjoyed it. 400 miles from new and is in good condition. Isn't he a lucky guy? Yeah, I'll tell you, nothing wrong with the Triumph. I've had a couple of them. I had a Speedmaster and a T100 and really I probably enjoyed the T100 more, although I really did like the Speedmaster. It was a fun bike. But it wasn't fun enough for me to keep it. Kevin says, Mike Terry, are you sure she doesn't love it as well? Don't know what that means. Doesn't mean anything. South Point. Okay, you got you. Lawrence County. I know exactly where you're at. I really, I love, one of the reasons I'm in Ohio, I get tempted every time, like this last January and February, I got tempted to go to Florida more. It's too flat for me. I was born with one leg longer than the other because of being a hillbilly, and I love the hills. And if you ever seen some pictures of me riding, every place that you see me riding is right around where I'm at. My house. Sometimes I have to ride a little bit to get to some places I want to show you. But as far as, I can sit, our house, my garage is on a hill above my house, and it's above the road. And we actually live on the west side of the holla. Finally got my DR 650 lowered, can flat foot it now. There you go. Looking for GoPro gear, looking forward to Ozarks and Appalachians this year. Well, GoPro, I'm telling you, I'm gonna point you towards getting the older style stuff. In particular, the GoPro Hero 7 is bullet frickin' proof, man. Now, you're not going to get 4 or 60 frames a second in super wide, but you'll get 30 frames a second, which is actually pretty good. That's what I shoot forward. It's 30 frames a second, so I get a little bit of blur. But when I face it towards me, I'm shooting at 60 frames a second at 4K. The Insta360 will do both. In fact, I'm going to replace on a next video the GoPro Hero 8 with the Insta360 and see how that works. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really enjoying the Insta360. It's not going to shoot the flat quality that the GoPro will. The GoPro's better, but I recommend definitely the older models of the GoPro because they're cheaper, number one. And all that media mod crap is exactly that. See, have you ever been to New Jersey, Pine Barrens? No, I've not been to the Pine Barrens. You ever come, let me know. Awesome riding. Not to New Jersey. Yeah, I've been through New Jersey a lot, particularly the northeast side. And I do enjoy it up there near the Delaware Gap. I'm pretty sure you know where that's at. Kevin says, Ronin, it does mean something. I saw it originally wrote before he retracted. He will get it. Scooter Stick says, I have a GoPro Hero 8 cameras. They're pretty frustrating in turn. On and off with gloves, especially when in the mod box. Yeah, I use my Hero 8 naked. I don't put it in a box, and I don't use the sound on it. It just shoots me, and then I sync it up, and then take the sound completely off of it. I use it. So I do use it though when I'm in the studio, not for today, but for like when I'm doing a studio. That's when I use it 8. But I'm actually trying to save some money up and get a different camera that'll be better quality than this. I mean, the phone quality, my phone quality for the live streams is not up to par. And so what I want to Andy says Insta360 X2 is the one I have. Larry said just bought a used Hero 7. It won't go wrong, man. That thing has never had an issue. I had to send the Hero 8s back twice, and I've never had an issue with a 7. Stuart said he lived in Wilmington, Delaware, and Newark 2 years ago. Newark, yeah. But let's see. Tom is. Are you familiar? I'm pretty sure that are you talking? Is that Pine Barrens? Is that up near Water Gap? Like I said, I used to go in through there out of the Poconos all the time. Beautiful country there. That part of New Jersey is gorgeous, and I think that's what you're thinking about. But I may be wrong. I'm not an expert on New Jersey by any stretch. I don't go to the Northeast like I used to. I used to go up into New York and Vermont. Say Northwest New Jersey. Yeah, it's also beautiful. It's the vicinity around New York City. People think, well, they think they'd be hating. Yes, you're right. I mean, I don't like Newark. Years ago, I was driving a farm truck, and we had to deliver some milk into New York City, and I got stuck in downtown New York City with a freaking tanker truck. Oh my God, what an experience that was. Yeah, I had the police were screaming at me bloody murder, but they actually helped me, so I got out of there. Scooter says, I'm approaching 300 miles on my Himalayan in the first service, been riding a break-in mode. How careful have you been? Careful? I don't understand that word. I don't break in things like most people do. But then again, I really don't ride new bikes that often. Although my Hemi had 11 miles on it when I got it. And when I got it, I had to drive it from the other side of Columbus over to where I live, which was like 70 miles. And if it breaks, it breaks. That's the way I look at it. I'll fix it or have somebody else fix it. Scooter said, "Ha! I'm serious, man. I don't break stuff in. I never have. I did buy a new Suzuki one time. It was 1100 ES and GS 1100 ES, and I never broke it in. I just boom, gone. It just, I don't know. I just, to me, if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when you first get it, and I've never had an issue. I'm not saying I'm not. I always tell people. Larry says, "Good seeing you. Off to dinner. Adios." Cheers, brother. I think that if things are going to go kaflooey, they're going to go kaflooey. And I always, again, I'm an old gearhead, so I break them in how I'm going to ride them, and I ride things pretty rough. Now, the official part of me will say, "Always pay attention to your owner's manual, and you'll be fine." But I'm not going to lie to you. The Pine Barrens is the most south Jersey, below I-95, almost all the way to Cape May. Okay. Biggest area, protected land, Boston to Virginia, YouTube search. Okay, I'll have to check it out, man, because I may have been through there, but I just don't remember. Let's see. Stuart says my KTM 390 limits the RPMs to 6,500 until then automatic. No kidding. All that technology, brother. I do break in at least the first. And cool. You, like I say to everybody else, you do you. You do whatever you feels comfortable. I would never tell people to do what I do because number one, I don't want to get in trouble. That's why I've not done a what do you call it? Valve adjustment on the Himalayan or the Meteor in front of y'all, because I'm hesitant to do so. Because if I do something a little bit different and somebody does it that way and Ronin, you're crazy. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking. I mean, there's so many internet experts or people that's been riding for 2 months that think they know everything that you'd be surprised how that happens. It's amazing. But there's guys who've been riding for 50 years who think they know everything. You can't know everything. You just do what you do and hopefully do it well and hopefully have some luck. That's the best thing I can say. Well, guys, it's 7:14. We've done it for an hour and 15 minutes. We've held right there at 30 people. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I know I've had a lot of fun. Any last questions before we get off of here? I really do love doing these. I've made a commitment to do these at least once a month, and sometimes I may do a few extra. I'm not sure. Maybe something surprise comes up, we'll do it as well, too. But I did want to tell you about my knowledge of the 350, the history of the G2, and also the fact that we're going to be part of the big reveal down there in Savannah, Georgia, coming up in mid-April. Scooter says the roads here in the mountains are clearing, dry soon. I plan to ride my Mid-Atlantic BDR. Yeah, there's quite a few of the BDRs up there. I had a guy, he's a Harley guy, who was asking me about the Himalayan. He wants to do the Eastern BDR and wants to buy a Himalayan. He hadn't got back to me. I'm trying to think of his name. Psycho Fanatics, I think is his name. He called me the other day and was asking me, picking my brain. Let's see. Which runs past my house, 12 miles. That's pretty cool. Figure I need to thrash the bike more. Love your videos, mate. Hey, Richard, thank you. And like I say, any other questions, guy, before we shut her down? We really, really do appreciate each and every one of you guys being part of the Old Man Ronin crew, and we really do appreciate it. It's it's my pleasure to do these. I really, really, really do. Tom says, thanks, that was fun. Out of Jameson now, killed half my damn son. You know, whiskey's better for you than red wine. I just seen a report. I don't know if it's true or not, but who cares? I like it. It takes years of being good at it and the feeling of the mechanics of riding. Agreed. Years. Scooter says, yes, your videos. Thank you, Scooter. Appreciate it. Stuart says, money coming in as soon as I can pry the credit card from my wife. Hopefully. Are you going to, should I wait on here, Stuart? Should I wait for you? Just teasing you, brother. But, Andy says, cheers, everyone. Cheers, Andy. Really do appreciate it. I can say I'm out of beer, and Iron Lady is ignoring me as usual. She had some funny lines on the film today, so I'm not sure if I'm going to put that one up. I've got 2 of them done. I was going to put a regular video up today, but I thought, you know what? I want to do a live stream. I haven't done one in March yet here. It's just even early, but I wanted to do one, so that's what we decided to do. Any other questions before we shut her down? I'm going to have a drink of water. Boy, Jay says all the best. Good fun. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, Chad. Thank you, Chad. You are the man. I'm telling you, Chad, you are by far I'm your fan. That's what I'll say. I do appreciate you. Everybody give Chad a big woohoo, because that is amazing. I just really, really thank you. Richard says, have you rode through Virginia? Lots of times, Richard. I have friends in Florida have done the mountains. Tempted to come over and do that. Yeah, I mean, Shenandoah Valley, there's a wine region on the east side, but I used to do a lot of riding around Smith Mountain Lake, down around Roanoke, and then all the way up into Lynchburg, and it's just beautiful. I love Virginia. I love West Virginia, Ohio, and the mountains are bigger in West Virginia, in Western Pennsylvania. All the Appalachians are just simply out of this world, and some of the best motorcycle riding. A lot of people don't think of Ohio, but you really must think of Ohio. Yeah, Chad, I mean, seriously, again, thank you. Yeah, yay, Chad. Cheers, 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 cheers. I really, really do appreciate it, and that means more than you ever know. But yeah, guys, there are so many good motorcycle roads that unless you're in Western Ohio, or unless you're out in the Plain States, and even along the Mississippi and Missouri rivers out there is some really good stuff. The Chattinator, I agree, man. He rocks, brother. I'm telling you, he's a big fan of the channel, and I'm a big fan of his. But yeah, there's some great roads even that you wouldn't expect. Tell Megan I said hi. Like I said, Chad and Megan are big. She's on here with them a lot of times, and I really do appreciate you guys. You have no idea. But yeah, there are so many great roads in so many different parts of the country. Even in some of the flatlands, like northern Michigan, because of the lakes, it's beautiful to go by the lakes. And then up in the Upper Peninsula, stuff like that. It's just so much fun, and I encourage everybody to get out there and ride more if you possibly can. I mean, if you have a full-time job like I do, it is, it's one of those type of things that you have to parse it. But even if you're just riding close to home, find some great places and go, and then expand your horizons. And as you learn more and more about riding motorcycles for you newbies, I know we got several of them on here. Let's see, Kevin says 12:18. So good night, Kevin. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you. And thanks, Chad, for telling Megan. I said hey. But yeah, an Iron Lady says hey too, even though I know she didn't say hey because she hasn't brought me a beer yet. But I know she would say it if she was up here with me. She just wasn't feeling it today. She just wanted to. We rode, like I said, we put a lot of miles on the last couple of days, and she hasn't been riding as much lately as I have. So it took a little bit out of her. Like I said, we did over 500 miles. I did over 500 miles the last couple of days, and I mean that's that's normal. I love it. I really do love it. And I always get a kick out of people. They go, well, "I did 100 miles today," and yay, starting. That's your first stop. No, I'm just kidding. But I want to encourage everybody to get out there and ride motorcycles. It's better to be on two wheels, which it really does make me happy that each and every one of you guys are here watching the channel and subscribing. And if you could do me a favor, guys, we're really trying to push the subscriber numbers. If you're really liking it, please share this stuff and get your buddies to, if you got some buddies to ride, even if they don't have a Royal Enfield, get your buddies to sign up, and not necessarily sign up, but just subscribe, because sometimes we got a lot more viewers than we have subscribers on some of the, like I got a couple videos that have 200,000-300,000 or 200,000 views, and we only got just under 13,000 subscribers, and we would like to hit 20,000 by the end of the year, hopefully. I don't know if it's possible or not, but if you can, guys, help the channel grow. And with stuff that Chad did do right there with that generous donation, it really means so much to the channel, and we can do more and more things. Like I said, the goal of Old Man Ronin channel is to eventually do it completely and utterly as a full-time job, and then you're going to see a tremendous amount of more content. Right now I'm working basically 2.5 jobs to try to keep, doing the food truck when I'm doing service, preparing everything, like making pastrami and making sausages and making hot dogs and making chorizo and everything like that. I'm doing that in all the sauces and grinding spices, everything in anticipation. And then let alone, working on motorcycles and then taking care of the farm. I mean, we've got some acreage here that we take care of. And like I said, that's we had a bunch of wind today, and I've got some trees down. That means I got to jack up the old chainsaw and get her running and get some trees cleared. But it is what it is. We Mark says hi from Scotland. We Mark, you're on the tail end of it, but brother, thank you for joining in. She said hi. Perfect. Thank you. I'm glad she did, Chad. Richard says, I've been ridden through France and the Pyrenees Mountains, amazing, but really need to come over to the States and sample your amazing country. We have everything here, Richard, and we've got the plains out west. We've got the Rocky Mountains. We've got the Appalachians. We've got the Poconos. We've got the Great Lakes region. We've got, the big rivers of Mississippi, the Ohio. We've got the Missouri, which is the longest river, I should say, in the United States. We have so much stuff. The Northwest, the California coast. They're just the deserts, the salt flats. And then we're really a hop, skip, and a jump from Mexico and some of the amazing places they ride down there. I love going to Mexico and ride. I used to like to go to Canada, but we haven't been allowed to go up there for a while. But there's some great places up in Canada. And of course, up in Alaska, it's just wide open country. And we have everything. And it's, this is my honest to God's truth. I love the food in Europe. I love Italian food and French cuisine and German cuisine. I love the wine. They're better than I do from the wine in America. But the whole thing of it is, as far as the riding, I've never done the Himalayas, which I'd like to do someday. I've never ridden. I've been to the Dolomites in northern Italy, and I want to go back on a motorcycle. I just never done it. Probably won't ever. I'm getting too old. Well, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know before we shut her down, because it's been a lot of fun. And again, extra thanks there to Chad. And your pack's on the way, brother. All right. Since there's no other questions, we'll do this. Nope, not that. We'll do this. We all know what that means, doesn't it? Mark says, watch Back and Forth Road Biker. He rides the roads around Sedona. Lovely roads. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure it gets a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. I don't know where it's going to be. Well, it's not going to be anywhere, so down there. And also hit that bell notification button, share and comment. You know I read all your comments, and comment as many as I possibly can. Until next time, guys, ride safe and keep her on two wheels, baby. Ciao. Goodbye, everyone.